Hey, good morning, everyone. I just wanted to show you a video example of what I was speaking about yesterday as far as um, when people try to attempt to lose weight or decrease body fat, they tend to starve themselves. And that's also synonymous with when working with clients, individuals, you usually suggest, like, hey, most people have damaged metabolism from starving themselves or not eating enough and doing this yo-yo, right? Overeating unchecked for weeks and months, maybe even years, and then the moment they want to lose weight for summer or spring break or a special occasion, they do a hardcore restrictive, diet, cutting out carbs completely, or keto, or just random things that aren't sustainable, aren't efficient, and probably aren't safe for your body. So, and part of that is not understanding, I think, or not seeing fully the correlation between um, empty calories and nutrient dense foods, right? Uh, we've heard empty calories for so long, and maybe some people don't really understand what it means as far as eating an empty calorie, because it sounds kind of like a double negative to say that you're gaining weight from eating empty calories, right? So what I did is I went in MyFitnessPal and I created two sample meals. I created a meal from a healthy, quote unquote, healthy fast food chain, and then a home cooked meal. And this necessarily isn't about quality or source, but just another tagline of clean eating, right? I just wanted to show you the difference of volume and quality and density versus empty calories. So we're going to scroll up, and no, I didn't eat these things. This is just in my MyFitnessPal for today, for example. So meal one, if you look at meal one, we went to Chick-fil-A, which again, quote unquote, is a healthier option for a fast food, um, per se. So we think. But I had a breakfast chicken biscuit. Okay. Um, and again, I'm eating as I normally. If I were to go to Chick-fil-A for breakfast, this is probably what I would get. Right. I'm not gonna eat just a piece of chicken. I'm gonna have the whole biscuit with the pickle, maybe some sauce. Right. So you got a breakfast chicken biscuit. One biscuit, 440 calories. And then, I'm going to want some hash browns. One serving is 230 calories. And then, let's be real. Let me get my orange juice, right? 160 calories. So for meal one, you got 832 calories, 109 grams of carbohydrates, 34 grams of fat, and only 28 grams of protein. Okay? Not bad. That's a little tough. As you can see, I'm in a negative already. But that's 832 calories. So if you can visualize that meal right now, like, even if you have to look it up and just look, is a chicken biscuit, a bag full of like mini hash browns, and a 10-ounce orange juice. 10 ounces is not a lot. That gives you 832 calories. And not a problem. Most of us, 98% of us, can eat that whole meal. Without looking at the calories, you would be able to eat those menu items, no problem. But then we go to meal two, which is, my meal prep stuff, right? And again, some of the stuff is, what's the word, redundant maybe, based on like, typical fitness, I'm going to get in shape. But hypothetically speaking, I had 6 ounces of boneless, skinless chicken breasts. That could be chicken thigh, steak, turkey, whatever. 6 ounces of sweet potato with 1 tablespoon of butter. I would use salted. And then 12 asparagus spares. And I enjoyed a Michelob Ultra, which is probably a 12 ounce, not a 10 ounce. So we'll just say that's 100 calories. Okay. I get 44 grams of carbs, 14 grams of fat, 45 protein. Total, we were looking at 528 calories. Okay, so Chick-fil-A meal, 832 calories for 3 items, 2 of which you were chewing, 1 is what you were drinking. For meal 2, 528 calories, you have 1, 2, 3 things you're eating, and 1 thing you're drinking. The macros, right? Crap ton of carbs for meal 1, and a lot of fat. You usually don't want those two combined in a high amount, right? It's probably the worst combination one can do is high fat, high carb. And the protein actually for the meal 1 is not bad, but you know, depending on what your goals are. 28 grams, I won't even balk at that. I think that's decent. It's just the high fat and high carbs. Whereas meal 2, you got, nice healthy carbs, a little, like a consistent amount, a good healthy amount of fat for a meal, and then 45 grams of protein. So this is what we're saying. This is what I'm saying, right? And usually what happens when I start working with somebody for nutrition and I say, okay, this random hypothetical number, we're going to go 1,700 calories. Two things happen. They go, wow, really? That's a lot of calories. And then they go, and then when I show them, like, okay, you can eat these, sources of protein, carbohydrates, fiber, fats. Chances are, 9 times out of 10, most people would struggle to eat all of meal 2, the chicken breast, sweet potato, asparagus, and the beer, and have no problem eating meal 1. Again, if we look at the caloric content of each of them, can we start to maybe correlate or see the bigger picture, the bigger issue of why most of us gain weight without even realizing it until, we feel like it's too late. But then also why when we do these crash diets, it doesn't work. And the rebound effect of weight gain it's a real thing. You do a crash diet and you lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks, and then you go back to these type of habits, it's going to come back with a vengeance, right? Part of why eating meal 1 that has 300 calories more than meal 2 seems easier is because the foods are made to be hyper palatable. Your palate is where your taste buds are. Hyper meaning above than normal, right? So food, especially restaurant foods, whether it's MSG or whatever other additives that they use, it signals to your body, to your brain, like it makes you desire that taste. It's taste that wouldn't necessarily be naturally found in nature. And I'm not talking about foods that are just well seasoned with herbs and spices. That's a good thing. But foods that are chemically enhanced to taste better. You ever seen a bag of chips and it says 40% more flavor? Think about that. They're adding flavor to something, right? Like, you can't go out into nature. You can't kill a cow or a chicken and be like, oh yeah, this chicken has 40% more flavor because we added. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, you can change it through their feed, but that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is the foods that are hyper palatable are easier to eat. And because they are empty, right? They don't offer a lot of fiber, a lot of protein. This meal 1 will sit in you. It might be heavy for an hour, maybe 2 hours, but then you're hungry again because this is what we mean by empty calories, right? You're eating a lot of calories, but there's no nutrition and there's no satiation, right? You're only full from the greasy, heavy, just bolus sitting in your gut. That's what you feel full and lethargic from. Your body trying to break down 800 calories, even though it was in a small amount of food. That's not to be confused with nutrient dense. Okay, meal 2 would be considered nutrient dense, right? The food volume may seem more, which it is, but it's offering you more nutrition and not just macronutrition, micronutrients. So you can see just the difference here of you're eating more food for meal 2, less calories, and you're getting more nutrition. To me, that is a triple equation for success, whether it's lean muscle mass gain, body fat decrease, performance, health, longevity, qualitative longevity, feeling better, healing yourself, like whatever those things may be, meal 2 is your option. And again, that can be interchanged. I'm having a beer. I'm having butter. Like, it doesn't have to be a chicken breast. It could be a steak. It could be a thigh. Like, right? Even if this second meal was 800 calories, it's going to be far better than the 800 calories from Chick-fil-A. You're eating one small chicken biscuit and a bag full of hash browns, and you got 800 calories. You're going to be hungry because there wasn't enough volume of food going into you, right? Like, it's going to slow your body down more than it is going to rev it up. You eat this meal 1 all the time, you're going to feel sluggish. You eat meal 2 all the time, you're going to feel ramped up and ready to go. So hopefully that brings some light to what we're talking about here. Again, understand that most people would struggle to eat the volume of meal 2, even though it's not a lot, but can consume meal 1 with no problem. And that is a problem. This is just one meal. So imagine if you have, lunch and dinner out to eat, right? No matter what restaurant you go to, you know, there's things like Core Life and Chipotle, and a lot of places have their nutrition facts readily available. They're not always honest. I forget what the law is. The way they measure it and the way they display it is not necessarily accurate or adequate. So be wary, but don't freak out. You know, just make better choices around. Like, hey, I'm going to dinner tonight with my husband. Okay, then this is what I need to do for the rest of the day. So, and we'll use that in the next video. So hopefully this helps. Holla at your boy.